Spartan fans, we're here with head coach Trent Kersten for the San Jose State Spartan volleyball team. And coach, it was a tough loss to Colorado State over the weekend, but before that loss, 7 straight wins for the Spartans. What were some of the high points of that winning streak? And what does the streak say about the team? Because you either had sweeps or you had wins in 5 sets in the streak. There was really no in between. Does that reveal something about this team and the season that you guys have had?
Yeah, I mean, first things first is credit to, the young ladies that I get to coach, and they're just amazing in every way. And I couldn't have asked for a better team and a better group to get to coach on a day-to-day basis. They're the best combination of competitive, of empathetic, of wanting to be good teammates to each other. And so first off, just absolute credit to them, right? And then secondly, about the streak, I think just how focused and dialed in we were and relentless in just kind of the pursuit of each kind of theme that we had during that streak. And it was a long stretch, and like you said, there were some 5-set matches where we got tested by teams who maybe on paper you wouldn't expect, but they did a great job. And then we were really good in 5th sets, and we're able to put some sets together against certain teams, like you said, for a couple sweeps during that. And that's obviously what you want, is you're striving to be really consistent and really high level caliber, and you want to be able to serve and pass, you want to be able to out of system hit and set at a really high level. And we were able to do that in some stretches, and in some we had to be a little inconsistent, and maybe we weren't our best during a specific set, and we're able to handle that with a lot of grit.
The last win of the streak, it came at elevation in Wyoming, the highest elevation that you can go to in the NCAA and Division I at least. Is it fair to say that the team they were kind of able to outlast Wyoming, because that was one of those 5-set victories? And also it wasn't just, okay, the 15th point won it in that 5th set. You guys had to get to 18 points for that. And do you think that in any way contributed to the loss against Colorado State? Was the team just tired? Were they burned out? Were they gassed by that point?
First I'll talk about the Wyoming game. I don't think Wyoming ran out of gas. I thought that we were significantly better in the 5th set until it was 14-11. And then they got on a run, right? And we had some missed execution offensively on our part. And, then you're at a visitor, or how should I say this? You're at someone else's house, and they did a really great job with packing fans and having great energy, and they were rolling. And then so I think they ended up getting 15-14. They were up at that point and went on a 5-0 run. And so then it's like, okay, now who are you really? When your backs are really against the wall, and you're on the road, and you're in some tough circumstances. You mentioned the altitude, right? Like, who do you want to be? And so our team just rose to the occasion and was good for a couple more points. I think you could ask any of them, and they were really excited to not be at altitude any longer after that trip. So, yeah. And then you asked about the Colorado State loss. Did that have anything to do with it? Were we just tired? And no, Colorado State was better than us on that night, and they deserved to win, and we were not good enough. And it's hard because for Ryan and Vi, like, that's their last time playing in Fort Collins, right? And so you want to end that with no regrets, right? And you want to know that you left it all on the court, no matter what the result was like. And I think the hardest part was coming home from that trip and knowing that we didn't do that. And that's not taken away from anything that Colorado State did, because they put 3 sets of really good volleyball together. They hit a really high clip against us, and did some things that really challenged us in some new ways. And so first off, credit to Colorado State and Tom. And second off, we know we have more in us to be able to compete at a really high level against that team.
We're here with head coach Trent Kersten for San Jose State Volleyball. Coach, we visited this in an earlier conversation with you, but we'll visit it again. We're now into the final 2 weeks of the season. San Jose State, they sit in third place in the Mountain West Conference standings. The top two teams, they get a first round bye in the conference tournament. Now, I assume that that is important to the team, but how important is a regular season title? Because mathematically, there's still a possibility that the Spartans could uh, end up in first place and have that regular season title. You would need to win 3 out of your last 4 and have Colorado State lose 3 of their last 4. And Colorado State, they lost yesterday. So, I mean, it would take a lot of help, but it is possible. Is that something that is on the mind of the team, a possible regular season title?
I hope not, honestly, because number one, how cool is it that you're asking me this question, right? Which is a pretty big deal, and credit to their team and how special this season has been. And we were picked to finish 8th, right? And you're asking me a question about being conference champions, which is pretty incredible. Secondly, the goal was never to win the regular season. The goal is to be playing our best at the end, quite simply. That was the vision, that was the goal, that's what we're working towards, and so whether we're regular season champs or in the 6th seed, we just want to be playing our best at the end, and we want to fight for days that we get to play. I spoke to you a little bit about the bye and the advantages of the bye versus advantages of playing the night before in our last interview, and so I won't go into that again. But the best thing about the bye is it guarantees you another day to get to practice together, right? And so you said we have 2 weeks left. Well, I'm hoping that we have 3 or 4 or 5 weeks left, and we're fighting for days to be able to spend time together in our gym and go make some pretty magical moments on the court, and have that underdog mentality the whole time. So whether we're at the 1 seed or the 6 seed or whatever seed in between, like, we just want to be playing our best at the end.
We're talking about seeds, and lo and behold, San Jose State will host Utah State tomorrow, and Utah State is in that number 2 spot. How important is this match? Is this the biggest match of the year? I know they're all big, but this one's right in front of you. Does this take on a little bit more significance because of the standings as well?
I think it's the most important match of the year because it's the next one. You could have asked me who we were playing, and that would be the most, or you could ask me about any team in our conference, and I would have told you the same thing. So the most important one is the next one. I'm not really concerned with rankings or anything like that. I think Utah State's been proven to be a really great team, and really excited for our opportunity just to compete and hopefully have some high-level volleyball in Spartan Gym and have a great crowd and people supporting each other and all that. I think our gym is pretty special, and we're excited to play them at home.
With another win, San Jose State will have 11 wins in Mountain West Conference play this season and 17 overall. Both would tie highs for the program since it entered the conference. Does it feel like this year is special? I think you already alluded to us that it is. Does that become more apparent as you get closer to these historical markers? And were you aware of those historical markers?
I wasn't aware of all of them, number one. Number two, it's been so unexpected to have this type of season. I think when you're in coaching or, even a player on teams, and like this is Vi's 6th team, Ryan's 5th team that she's been on here, right? And you start to understand, like, at the end of your career, how special it is when it is right and when you do get it, and so I talked to Vi on the phone last night, and we were just talking about, hey, if you don't stop and smell the roses about how special this year has been on the court, off the court, struggles, injuries. Like there's been 100 things that have gotten in our way, and we've been able to manage through that and stay true to our values and stay true to who we want to be, right? And so when you look around our conference and we're in the position that we want to be in, and we know that no one else in our conference has lost an impact player like we have, and we lost 2 of them. Allison Alden led the conference, or was second in the conference last year in hitting percentage last year, and she hasn't played. Amethyst Harper was incredible for us for half of a season, and she's explosive, and she's a great teammate, and she is a stat stuffer, you could say, and was scoring 4 points a set, and we lost her for a period of time and haven't blinked, right? And so when you are going through some things like that it's very clear no one else in our conference has really gone through. I think it brings in a lot of confidence, but a lot of realization, especially if you're in Vi and Ryan's and maybe Haley's and Sarah's shoes, or they're in their 4th or 5th or 6th year. You have some perspective, right? And you have perspective on what good seasons look like and what average, and what maybe you've been through a bad season, right? And so there's just some level of appreciation that you have for when you get it right as a collective team and you're outperforming everyone's expectations.
You mentioned how some of the more veteran players, they most likely do have a sense that the season is somewhat special, at the very least different. Do you get the sense that the team knows of the historic nature of this season, and also the special nature of playing at Spartan Gym? I mean, it's almost like there's a feeling in the air that we're going to see something special or something unique, something exciting. The atmosphere is just kind of hard to describe, and it's not really something that you can, I guess, grab or take hold of, right? But there does seem to be an aura in that gym. Do you get the sense that the players do you get the sense that the players feel that, and perhaps I think that was, maybe it was that your dog?
Yeah, Maverick and Bonza, I think so. That's
okay, yeah.
I'll say this, and I know you mentioned specifically Spartan Gym, but there's something about being a Spartan right now. We just watched Simon win the first round of his conference tournament. When I go and watch Coach Brennan's team on the football field on Saturday night, like, it's electric. And when I'm in the hallway, sharing a hallway with Coach Joanne Bowers from gymnastics, and she slaps a note on my door after a game that she came to. And then at the end of the day, all of us are striving to be like Lauren Hansen from women's soccer, and how amazing she's done for her program, right? I think there's something really special about being a Spartan, and the support that we have for each other as coaches, and support that the student athletes have for each other, like going to their games. I mean, shoot, Brad's baseball guys are hilarious when they're in our gym. They're unbelievable. And then you throw in a couple of football guys and it's just an absolute riot. And we do have something where we talk about, like, hey, like, do something to make the crowd really fall in love with how hard we play, right? And I think we've done that on a really consistent basis, even in games that we've lost at home. And so I think, back to your question, there's just something pretty special about being a Spartan right now.
Well, we'll leave it at that. And for fans who have not seen your team yet this season, an earlier start time tomorrow. San Jose State will take on Utah State, 4 p.m. at Spartan Gym. So come out to watch San Jose State. Head coach Trent Kersten, we thank you for your time and best of luck. It's been a great ride this season, and we hope that it continues into this weekend, and as you stated, for 2 weeks, and then beyond that even more. So best of luck the rest of the way, and we thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you.